is down and 4's still burning. Left wing's on fire. We're still losing height.
Okay, bail out. Come on, she's gonna go up any second. Move!
Come on, Charlie, come on, you can make it. Just pull the cord as soon as you're out.
If you were ever in a situation of life and death, what would you choose? By sacrificing yourself, you'll save dozens. What would you do? That is exactly the choice a Canadian Halifax bomber pilot had to make. On July 28, 1944, at exactly 4 minutes past 4 in the afternoon, Handley Page Halifax bombers of 78th Squadron took off from their base in Brayton. Amongst them was Halifax MZ-340, marked EYX and its crew of 7. They would meet up with 198 other aircrafts and go on a bombing mission to Forêt-de-Nieppe in northern France. This forest was home to a large storage facility that stored ammunitions, weapons and parts important for the war effort. It also had a large amount of V-1 flying bomb components. Its crew consisted of the Canadian pilot, Flight Lieutenant Pilot William Gladstone Hoffman, 21 years old, flying officer and wireless operator air gunner Russell Harry Winter, 29 years of age. Then we had Flying Officer Navigator W. Bell and Flying Officer Bomb Aimer E. Ronald in the nose section, and Flying Officer Flight Engineer Kevin Burns, who'd help out the pilot, and finally Sergeant Mid-Upper Gunner George R.G. Marley and Sergeant Rear Gunner Robert C. Lang in the tail. Its bomb load consisted of 16 225 kilograms bombs. At 17:45, they reached the Belgian coast and began their last turn towards France. When they flew over Ostend, a West Flemish city on the shores of the North Sea, they fell into very heavy German anti-aircraft fire, coming from Flakabteilung 252, stationed at Mariakirke. The Halifax was coned, meaning it had been spotted and was being followed by the large searchlights of the German gun batteries. It took several direct hits and immediately started losing height. Over the village of Ramskapelle, near Newport, the pilot ordered the bombs to be released, unknowingly dropping them on a farmhouse, killing 2 adults and wounding 3 children. The bomber kept on losing height and was nearly impossible to control. As the crew prepared to attach their parachutes, the pilot, Will Hoffman, realized his plane was going to crash straight into the town of Ramskapelle, killing dozens of innocent people. In a split second, he ordered his crew out. He would stay and keep the aircraft level for as long as possible, then steer away from the village and jump out himself. It was hard keeping the aircraft more or less stable in its turbulent descent. On his way out, the radio operator, Russell Winter, bumped his head on the escape hatch and fell out unconscious. He was later found lifeless by the Germans with a gaping head wound. Having lost all control and being too low to jump, pilot William Hoffman crashes alone in his aircraft. The machine disintegrates in a field right next to a still existing farmhouse. The remainder of the crew had landed safely and were, all but one, immediately taken prisoner. Within hours, this last airman was found and also taken into custody. Interesting fact, the monument to this crash that we see today was built on the exact spot where this man was hiding. They were all taken to a stalag in Germany and remained there until the end of the war. As I walked towards the monument, I passed the field in which William found his untimely end. The aircraft had flown over the farmhouse and crashed between the building and this ditch you are seeing here, so it would have flown directly towards me. As with many crash sites, the field still shows scars where the Halifax impacted. A long, oval depression can be seen in the earth. Even after so many years, the soil has not forgotten about the incident. On some sites, we can still see oil in puddles of mud, but I'm too far away to be able to see this. As I stop in front of the monument, I think about this huge plane and this young man, 21 years old. Most 21 years olds nowadays don't really know what color of socks they want to wear today. They have never heard of this place. And yet here, in different times, this young man, who had come from the other side of the world, courageously decided he would first save his crew, and then the villagers from a certain death. I guess the question now is not, what would you have done back then, but more, what can you do now? For me, my personal answer would be, remembering remembering and telling other people what these airmen have done for us. Never forget.